Here are my bacon earrings. I'll teach you how to make them. Start with some salty, delicious bacon and put them in your mold box. Here's my melted ComposiMold and a hot glue gun. Put some hot glue on the bottom of the piece of bacon and press it into your mold box. This is going to make sure that it doesn't float to the top when you pour in your ComposiMold. Spray silicone mold release over the bacon, which hardly needs it because it's pretty oily to start, and make sure that it also is on the mold box. That's going to help your mold release. Bubble Buster will make sure there's no bubbles on your final mold, so we'll spray that over the top of the mold release. We'll give the melted ComposiMold a stir. As you can see here, I leave a little bit unmelted and let the hot ComposiMold melt it. That keeps it from being too hot. I pour in just a little bit to cover the bottom of the mold box. That way the bacon doesn't rise, it doesn't melt the hot glue. Here's my second pour. Just to complete it, I'd like to have at least ½ inch of ComposiMold over the top of any part that I'm using to make a mold of. And here we are, totally formed and solidified. You can just turn it over and give the bottom of the mold box a little press and your mold will come out fairly easily. It's a pretty good trick. Ta-da! Here's my mold with my bacon on the inside. So I'm just going to show you this in fast forward. I'm going to trim around the edge and carefully remove the bacon, which is going to fall apart, and that's fine with me. I can make more if I ever needed to make another mold. And it comes out fairly easily, probably because it's pretty oily stuff. I spray mold release again into my mold cavity where I'm going to be putting my polyurethane resin in to make my cast. There's lots of little nooks and crannies in this mold, so I'm going to just make sure that the mold release got down into all those spots. I pour part 1 into part 2 of my ComposiCast. And I give that a stir, and that's what I'll be using to make my bacon cast. I also, because there's little cavities, I use the stick to push it down into a couple little spots. I just want to make sure they get in there. And then I'll pour my ComposiCast down into the cavity. You have about 20 minutes of setup time with the ComposiCast, so take your time and make sure that you pour very carefully and you don't waste any product. Here it is, about 20 minutes later. I'm able to demold my bacon cast. Here it is, with little pieces of bacon flesh stuck to. So that makes it even more desirable for those people who really like bacon, that these earrings actually have bacon chunks stuck to it. So this is me just carefully demolding and pulling the mold away from my cast. You can see it's very easy to do it. Ta-da! I drilled a couple holes in the top with my Dremel tool so that I can feed some wire through to make the earrings. And I'm just showing you how I painted them to make them look like realistic bacon in fast forward, so you can see how they really come to life with this taking a little extra time to do the painting part. And I don't know about you, but I like my bacon crispy. So we're going to give it a little bit of a brown edge for a little bit of a more realistic feel. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video today using ComposiMold to make bacon earrings.